Good morning and welcome along to our Staying Well While Staying Home series, a collaboration between Siel, Bleu Ireland and the Irish Cancer Society. So looking forward to bringing a workout this morning. Just things we like to check. Plenty of space available, good strong chair, and I will use weights in the session. You can of course use bottles, tins, anything that gives you a little bit of resistance. Not to participating if you're feeling unwell on the day, and any exercises that you need to adapt or change. So if you felt pain or discomfort with any movement, just to stop with that particular action. So again, just hopefully it's nice and sunny wherever you are, but I'll have a window open, bottle of water at the ready as well, just to kind of factor in that as well. Otherwise, we'll get pretty much straight into this session. Any issues with the stream, and I will start a new stream on our YouTube channel, though hopefully no issues. So let's begin as we tip into 10 o'clock and starting with our warm-up. So make sure you have a little bit of space. Just begin, a little bit of movement. We'll just get the feet moving. As you get the feet moving, I just want to start to activate the shoulders. I'm just going to guide those shoulders slowly backwards. From there, I'll change direction, now guiding my shoulders forward in circles. Okay, now just from there, we'll start to guide the heels out in front. It's just nice and light, tapping your heels in towards the floor, one at a time. And if that's feeling comfortable, let's just add the arms in here as well. Hands towards shoulders. And then we'll just return. Bring it back to March. Just going to check in around the upper body here now with the next couple of movements. I'll bring hands to my shoulders. Just going to start off lifting one elbow up at a time. And if that feels okay, I'll just bring that into the two elbows lifting together now. Just lifting the two elbows up. If that feels comfortable, keeping the elbows up. Open the right elbow, opening up that left elbow. So one at a time, opening up the position, just thinking around our shoulder, around the chest. If there's any kind of tightness or stiffness, slowly opening up. If that feels comfortable, just opening up now with the two arms. So just opening elbows from front to side. And relax the arms down. So from this position, stretch the legs back, just pointing the toes behind. Just kind of switching everything on, gradually building up, and just checking in with all these different body parts like shoulder, back, chest. Just checking out with these positions before we start to work them harder in our main block of work. Okay. Now, if I just return, bring it back to March, what I want to do is just open up the arms in front and pull back. So we're going to work a rowing action with our weights. So we'll just practice that movement. Hopefully that's back. Sorry if that froze a little bit. If there's any issues, I will just set up a new stream if that continues. Hopefully it's okay. As I say, on occasion the internet will cause issue, but hopefully that's okay. Just continuing with that rowing action. Arms out, pull back. And in. Now, just pausing the movement of the feet, arms by your sides. Rotate left and rotate right. Just getting a nice stretch through the back in your upper body. And just think one arm in front, one arm behind. Nice controlled rotation. Morning. I think with Deborah there looking after it. Morning. And back in. Okay. Now just take it back in. Get the feet moving again. Just want to take the hands up. And we'll just go for a nice smooth press. So what I want to do now is go side to side and just a nice press. Just pushing out from chest and just stepping side to side. And then I'll just take it back in. Just moving back into the lower body again. Curling legs back now. So just bring that heel behind. Again, if you need support for a movement like this, that's perfectly fine. Just curling. Alternate leg back. And then just return to march. And now I will introduce us into our circuit in a minute. So we're going to just keep the feet moving, keep our body active. Going to just make a couple of changes, a couple of little progressions today. Just aware that you've maybe been doing the workouts for a while, always looking to add a little bit of challenge. If you find any of the movements a little bit tough, don't be afraid to take it back a step, and I will give adaptations for any of the movements that could be a little bit more difficult. If you find as a movement you're not really sure, you don't like the look of it, just feels unnatural, what I would suggest is to march through the movement, lift the knees, add a little power in with the arms, and that should feel good, or just keep the body active. So, no problem, Mary. And just in line with that, I will get straight into the workout. No problem if you need to head along the way. So I'm going to get us started with our main block of work. Progression today. We've worked a lot recently with our staggered stance, where I place one foot forward, the other foot back, the purpose being to work the back leg. So if that's a really difficult movement, you find it's good, you can stick with that. You can take it back to a regular sit stand. But what I want to do is build a progression in today. Chair is behind, I can feel it. I will elevate my left foot and I'll sit the hips down and back. I'll set the foot down, reset the position. So I'm showing you that once more, and then we'll bring the clock on. So my foot up, sit the hips down and back into the chair, okay? Mindful, I want to give a clear demonstration. So my chair is here, but I would suggest putting your chair against the wall. It's not going to move. And just mindful that you don't fall back rapidly into that chair. We don't want it to move away. If that's difficult, go with a one leg in front of the other. So you'll just work the back leg in the same way, but with more balance and control. And if that's still really difficult, we can go with a regular up-down. So the choices are there. But let's begin. Okay. So I'm going to set up and work the right leg. I can feel the chair behind me. I will elevate the left foot and I'll slowly sit into that chair, beginning. And so slowly in, set the foot down, reset. Left foot out, slowly sit down and into the chair. Mindful, so the work is through that right leg, but I want you to take note of the knee. It's in line with the middle of my toes, my middle toes rather. And what I want to be mindful of is that that knee isn't caving in. So if you feel really weak in this position, feels uncomfortable, that would be a cue to maybe step it back and just place the left foot out in front instead. If it feels good, just continue that nice control. Hips down and back, slowly into the chair. Okay, so left foot out, hips down and back, slowly into that chair. And there's no hurry. Challenging variation today. No need to rush this movement at all. We just take it nice and controlled. Again, left foot out, hips down and back, knee in line with those toes in front. Once more. and reset. So we'll work that from the opposite leg. Just note that one leg may be a lot stronger than the other. So yes, I was able to take that comfortably on the right. Maybe note that the left side might be a bit more difficult. So you can again place the right foot in front if you prefer, or back to a regular stance. So the choices are there. Let's begin. I can feel the chair. Now my right foot is out, and I'll sit those hips down and back. Slowly into the chair, reset position. Down and back. I don't fall into the chair. That chair isn't sliding back. So I have lots of control as I lower myself into the chair. Knee in line with toes. I'm mindful the knee isn't caving in. It's not feeling weak or uncomfortable in the position. I feel good strength through that left leg. And as I say, I don't hurry the movement. I just take it nice and controlled. Hips down and back. Set the foot down, up again. So it's really just about going with control. We're not worried about how many repetitions we perform. It's just good quality controlled movement throughout. Go once more, foot out, hips down and back, and reset. Now, coming out of that position, we'll move into a kind of more of a cardiovascular movement here. What I want to do is just have the arms by my sides. I want to open the right foot and arm, and then the left side. So this is like a half jack variation. And let's just get into it. Right foot and arm, left foot and arm. Okay? Just start off, just get a feel for the movement. Tap the foot to the side and open the arm on the same side. If that feels comfortable, you're happy with that action, I want to start to work up to a more brisk, more moderate pace on this one. Just note the arm doesn't need to go above about shoulder height. And just nice tap out to the sides. Keep the action kind of light with a little bit of power and speed. Nice brisk pace. Not so hard that I need to stop, but that there is challenge through the movement. And you can hear that in the voice. As I perform it, I'm active, I'm moving. Just keeping that movement going. Right and left. Find the arms or the shoulders in particular get a bit heavy. Just try and keep the feet moving. Set the arms down for a couple. That's absolutely fine. About 10 seconds. And down, okay? Grab hold of your two weights next. Always take a sip of water as you need, a little breather, but I will introduce to the next movements. Take hold of your two weights. We're going to form a rowing action. I've done this in a couple of weeks. So I'll take it into maybe a quarter squat position. So just sit the hips back, keeping your upper body straight. From that position, pull the weights up, lower them back down. And we'll just think about a rib cage roughly up and down, and I'll keep the elbows nice and narrow. So my upper body is straight. Just make sure you're not bending in that position. You've sat the hips back, so that helps you maintain a good, strong position. Weights up. Stretch back down. Keeping the elbows narrow. You get a nice squeeze, a nice connection in the back of my body. If you find this position a little bit uncomfortable, you might take it into a seated position and just create that angle again where you tilt the body forward, keeping everything straight, draw the weights up, lower back down. And even within that, if you need to just work one side at a time, you make all these little changes as required. Go once more. And down. Set the weights down. Next movement, going to activate our core a little bit with this one. And again, we're just going to avoiding any floor movements, but equally we do want to challenge areas like our core as much as we can. So for this next movement, I want you to open the arms to your side. I want to lift my left knee to begin and draw the right arm in front. Lift the right knee, draw left arm in front. So you'll just see how I lift one knee and I draw arm from the opposite side in front. My upper body position is strong, so I'm not bending down harshly here. I'm just simply moving one arm in front. Good lift to the knee, bring the arm in front. You might hear that long exhale as I lift the knee and bring the arm in front. Couple from the side, just to give you a different perspective. If you find the arms get a little bit heavy on this one, no problem. You could just take it down into a more relaxed position, just keeping the elbows up a little bit. But you might find that it's just a little bit easier to maintain. If you find the shoulders getting a little bit heavy while you have them out to the sides, the arms. And down, okay? Next movement, what we want to go into our heel raise variation, okay? I want you to line up behind your chair. I want to take up that quarter squat position again. So just sit the hips back a little bit, nice upright position, hold the back of the chair. Elevate the heels, return down, keeping the position, not lengthening up, okay? Keep that bent knee position, lift the heels and back down. If you find this position uncomfortable, really difficult, straighten it out and we can move into a regular heel raise. But if you're comfortable, quarter squat position, hips back, maintain this stance, lift the heels. You can see that little bend in the knees here. Lift the heels up and down, and you might start to feel this connection nice and low in the back of those lower legs. Getting really deep, nice feeling in the back of those lower legs. Different challenge today. We've worked the calves previously, but a different variation, different challenge today. If you find you're okay with a movement but just gets a little bit tense, step it out briefly and then go back to the position. So you might just need to break it up once or twice, and you can do that. Straighten the position up. Your next movement, just reset now. Nice and straight. We're just going to work heel pump. So we'll lift one heel up at a time. Nice, light, quicker movement here. So we'll begin. Lift one heel up and then the other. And I'll just keep that movement continuous. So you'll see how the knee goes in front a little bit. Keep your toes glued to the floor. Imagine they're stuck to the floor. All I can do is lift the heels. One at a time. One heel up, one heel down. So it's like I'm jogging on the spot, but my toes are stuck to the floor. So you're just going to keep that movement continuous, lifting the heel up one at a time. Okay, so a nice little follow on after our heel raise variation. Probably from a muscular point, not feeling quite as challenging as the previous movements. One might feel a little bit of engagement after the last movement also. Might feel a little bit of tiredness around the back of those lower legs, but just keeping the movement flow continuous. A nice exertion, one heel up at a time. And we'll just go for about 10 seconds just to finish this one out. We'll time it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, just shaking the legs out. Pause the clock briefly. We're going to move into round number 2. Just take note if there's any movement that was difficult there that you didn't like, caused a little bit of discomfort, pain, change that exercise. Take it back a touch. So there's no pressure at all. Change the movement if it doesn't feel good. Otherwise, let's move straight in. Round number 2. So again, have that chair behind. you might like to place it against the wall for this particular movement. I'll have my foot out in front. I can just work with the foot flat to the floor if I prefer, or I can take it back to a regular stance. So you have the options there. Let's begin. Okay. So, really important with this one leg variation I perform that you can feel the chair. I don't want to be away from the chair. I want to just have that comfort that is right behind me. I will elevate my left foot and I'll slowly sit those hips down and back into the chair. Set the foot down, back up. Foot out, hips down and back, into the chair, reset. Just keeping the hands free to your side. You can also just give you that little bit of comfort as you lower yourself down. Work, really feeling good connection through that right leg. Knee is good, it's in line with the toes, it's not caving in, it doesn't feel uncomfortable, there's no excessive pressure in the position. If there was, that's when you're going to take it back to one of the other variations. Take it slow, controlled, no need to rush with this particular movement. The chair doesn't slide back, and I'm not crashing back into the chair, really controlled, lowering down. Reset, last couple of times at your own pace. Good connection, good strength through the right leg. Once more. And reset. Okay, we'll work the same from the left leg now. So that means I'll place the right foot out, loading up that left leg. If that's difficult, I just simply place the right foot in front. And if that's still not good, I just take it into a regular stance, up, down. So the choice is really important. Again, with your one leg variation, you can feel that chair behind, really important. Right foot out, sit the hips down and back, slowly into that chair, reset. Foot out, down and back, slow, controlled into the chair. Upper body is straight. Knee in line with those toes. Particularly mindful if there's a lot of movement around the knee, it feels uncomfortable, you're going to step back to one of the other variations. So I want us to feel strength, power through that left leg. Good control in the position. Not rushing, taking this one nice and controlled. Last couple of times. Reset. One more time. And back down. Okay. So we'll take it into our half jack variation. Just a more cardiovascular movement. We like to work a nice brisk pace with a movement like this. Start slow, get a feel, and then build it up. Arms by my side. I'm going to tap the foot, open the arm. We'll start in about 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Begin. Right, left, tap toes to the side, open the arm. Just get a feel for the movement. And providing that feels comfortable, I'm working at a nice, moderate or brisk pace. So I want challenge in this movement. A little bit of exertion. I feel I'm active, moving, but not so fast or so hard that I need to stop. I can sustain this pace from start to finish. Tap the foot, open the arm. Find the shoulders, the arms get a little bit heavy. Just keep it moving with the feet. Otherwise, just continuing with the arms or reintroduce maybe after a little break. Okay, just finish about 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. and take it in. Again, sip of water, of course. I'm always just introducing the next movement. Take a break as required. I'm going to take hold of your 2 weights when ready. What I want to do is just take it down, like a quarter squat, just sit the hips back a little bit, and that draws my upper body forward. So a nice straight position. I'll lift the weights up, lower back down. Keeping the upper body in a fixed position, rowing, pulling those weights up, and lower back down. Might hear that exhale as I lift the weights up. Inhale as I lower back down. Keeping the elbows nice and narrow as I draw the weights up. Looking to get a good connection in my back. We can just think those weights roughly in towards that rib cage on each side. Just draw the weights up, squeeze, slowly back down. If you feel you need to take this in a seated position, that's fine. Might just have a little bit more support if you find the position difficult to maintain. Last couple of times. And once more. And step the weights down. Next, looking at that nice connection through our core. Just keep the toes pointed forward. I'll just pause the clock for a second. Yeah, so good question. Just make sure I read it properly. Forward for toe taps overturned. Just keep the knees pointed forward. So that movement where I tap to the side, I know it might look kind of like I'm turning, but just think roughly. Your toes are pointed straight ahead. So as I open to the side, that's how it is. The toes are pointed forward, but naturally you'll just probably end up in a slightly diagonal stance. But I'm not actively turning, if that makes sense. So I'm just thinking in my brain, pretty much straight. But naturally it probably goes at a slight angle. So it might look like I'm trying to turn them, but it's just the kind of natural. Really not to fret on the detail of that. But all I'd say is not needing to actively turn, if that makes sense. So just kind of keep it natural. See, I'm probably at a slight angle, but really it's just about the exertion of that one. It's cardiovascular. I'm just keeping the feet moving nice and quick. That's all I worry in that one. So don't worry too much if you think you're turned out a bit or a little bit too narrow. Can't really go too wrong or right, but just not to actively turn is all I'd say on that one. Good question. Anything like that, always let me know. Next movement, think about that core. Open the arm to the sides. Okay. Lift the left knee. Bring the arm across. Lift the the right knee. Bring the arm across. Just think the opposite sides. You can see me confusing myself there. But keep the upper body position straight. Good lift of the knee. And just bringing the opposite arm in front. If you find that position really difficult to maintain, just drop it back in. Perfect, no problem. Anything unsure of, always let me know. A lot of the time, what I'd say is think of the strength movements. So the likes of the knee, the hip when we're squatting, or a shoulder movement when we're using weight. That's when we want to be kind of quite prescriptive, like quite precise as much as we can with correct execution. With some of the more like cardiovascular where we're not using weight, generally there's a little bit more freedom. It might not look exactly the same as I perform it, but once you're not feeling any discomfort with a movement, we're on the right kind of track. And down. Okay. Next movement, we're going to work the back of those lower legs again. Take up position behind your chair, holding on. Quarter squat, so just sit the hips back a little bit. You see that bent knee position. Elevate the heels. Up, back down. Naturally, your body might want to straighten as you lift, but I want you to maintain this position. Keep the hips back a little bit. That bent knee position, lifting the heels up. If you find this is good, continue. If you find this is very difficult, you're not really happy with this version, straighten the legs out and go for a regular heel raises. Could even just be a case of gets a bit tiring, need to just shake it out, return to the position then. So you can break it up a couple of times if you need. Heels up, back down, right up onto my toes, and I'm in this altered stance today. You might feel this one a little bit lower in the back of the lower legs than you might typically. Different variation, different challenge. You can hear that exertion in my voice. Really important, I can still talk in a full sentence, so it's not so difficult that I'm breathless. We can hear a bit of a pant, light sweat, a little bit red. I'm working hard. And up. Okay, shake the legs out. We're going to work our heel pumps next. For lack of a better name, that's what I call them anyway. Really just, again, a really nice active movement here. I think along the lines of that cardiovascular challenge again, we will feel maybe a little bit of activation back of those lower legs again. So, back of the chair, my toes are glued to the floor, one heel up, other heel up, and I just continue. So think like you're marching or you're jogging on the spot, where your toes are stuck to the floor. So I'm lifting the heels up, one at a time, but keeping those toes flat to the floor. Again, toes flat to the, or stuck to the floor, heel up one at a time. As one heel lifts, the other heel goes down. Nice fluid action, a little bit of speed in again with a movement like this. Might feel back of those lower legs start to get a little bit tired. Working about 10 seconds. And rest. Okay, shaking the legs out. Just pause that clock. I'm going to take it into 1/3 and final round. Again, take a little breather. Drink of water if you need. Again, note if there's any movement there that just doesn't feel good, make a change. If there's one, maybe just get a little bit tired in one or two of the actions in the last round. But otherwise, let's just continue and go straight in. Third, final round of our work. So again, just before I put the clock on, I was going to guide you through the variations. I know this can be a tough one. So this is where I have my chair behind, preferably against the wall. My left foot will be out and I'll sit down. If I find that's getting really difficult, just put the left foot forward, flat to the floor, up, down. So it's the same idea that you're just working the back leg particularly hard. And if that's still very difficult, it's going to take it back to a regular stance, up, down, okay? So let's move into that in about 20 seconds. Okay, I'm going to work the right leg. So for me, that means I'm going to elevate that left foot out in front. We'll start in a couple of seconds, just pair up. And let's set up, okay? Left foot out, hips down and back. And I can feel that chair is directly behind. I can feel with my leg it's there. So I'm not away from the chair at all. Really important, going slowly down and back. That chair isn't sliding, it's not moving. And I'm not, of course, it's really controlled. I'm particularly mindful that I feel tension and work through the leg. Muscular challenge, that's what I want. The knee is strong in the position. It's in line with my toes. It's not drifting in. It's not uncomfortable. I don't feel any pressure through that knee. All the work through the muscle in your leg. Take your time. No need to rush. And say if it just becomes very difficult, or either way, you may just prefer some of the other variations we have here. Left foot out, hips down and back, and keeping that upper body nice and straight. Reset position. Once more. Reset. Okay, I will now work from the opposite side. That means my right foot is out in front. You can again just place the foot down if I prefer. And I'll work that left leg. And of course, I have a regular stance if I prefer. So let's set up. Chair, I can feel. My right foot goes out and I sit down and back. So now I'm working, putting all that tension through the muscle in my left leg. Again, foot out, body straight, hips down and back. Knee in line with those toes. That knee isn't driving forward really harshly. It's not caving in either. You're comfortable in the position. You're feeling work through the leg. Reset. And again, just of any variation, we just go with a nice control throughout this particular variation. Foot out, slowly down and back with those hips. Reset position. Last couple of times. And again, making that switch with the variation if you find this one particularly difficult. Hips down, back, and reset, okay? We'll take it into our cardiovascular movement here. So this is the one we spoke about a little while ago. I'll try and get a kind of best shot of my body in line with this. Arms to your side. I'm going to open the arm. I'm just going to tap the toes. And you'll see that I just keep the toes pointed roughly in front and equally with the knees. So just, as I say, not needing to turn the body at all. Just keep it straight. But that'll naturally go on a somewhat of an angle. Let's begin. Right, left. Just get a feel for it. Just opening the arm directly to your side, and you're just tapping your toes to the side, with the toes pointed ahead. You'll see naturally they just open up at a bit of an angle, and that's okay. Really on this movement, compared to the last one where we were very controlled with that strength work, now we open up a little bit more speed into the movement. Not that we need to work really fast, and we feel breathless, that we need to stop. We're nice brisk pace. There's challenge, it's exertion. I think the difference if you are walking really fast or just kind of strolling. We're looking for that little bit of power, like a faster march or walk as opposed to just strolling through the movement. Open the arm, tap to the side. Arms might get a little bit tired, a little bit heavy. Just keep the feet moving. And down. Okay, next movement. Of course, take a little breather if you need. When ready, take hold of your two weights. And we're going to form our rowing once more. So, with two hands, we're bearing the weights. Just like a quarter squat, sit the hips back. My upper body drawn forward, but it's straight, so I'm not bending in the position. I'll pull the weights up, lower back down. Weights up, lower back down. I hear that exhale as I lift up, inhale as I lower. Elbow position narrow, nice squeeze, nice connection, back of the body. And just think roughly in a rib cage position with those weights. So not to go up high into the chest, I always say just a little bit lower with the position. Should feel stronger in that position. Upper body stays straight. Mindful you're not bending. Sometimes you might just lose a bit of shape with this position. Straighten up, reset, sit the hips back, drawing the upper body forward, and just rolling those weights up. Last couple of times. Go once more. Draw the weight down. Okay. Next, On a set up, a couple of seconds, drink the water if you need. This is where I'll open the arms out, lifting the knee and just bringing one arm in front. Find the arms just very heavy at this point. Just bring it into a more comfortable position. Just keep the hands up and just think about the elbow moving across. Okay, arms out, left knee up, right arm in front. Right knee up, left arm in front. Good, strong upper body position. Good lift to the knee and just moving one arm across. Opposite sides. You can see as I kind of shorten the position, lifting the knee and bringing the arm across. That's when you'll hear that exhale. Knee up, arm across. Gets tough, drop it down. Just a more comfortable position with the arms. And you can just work in exactly the same way. Let's get back on track. And we'll finish out about 10 seconds. And rest it down. Okay, we're going to work back and lower legs next. I want to bring that chair back into place. Just one of those positions that does get a little bit tiring. So if you find on this third round, this variation uncomfortable, straighten out and just work through regular heel raises. If you're okay with this variation, we'll go with it once more. So again, just sit the hips back just a little bit. Nothing with any kind of depth here. Just back a little bit. Nose, knees bent, heels up. Okay, so heels up and down, and I'm not straightening the leg out as I lift the heels. Naturally, that's what the body might want to do. We're not going to allow that to happen. I'm just going to feel nice, low, back of those lower legs. Heels up. Return back down. And the upper body is straight. Just note that I'm not bending. It's rather just that I've sat the hips back a little bit here. If you feel you need to come out of this position, just straighten up, shake the legs out, return when ready. Okay, just going to work it for about 10 seconds here, if that's okay. Once more, and I'll straighten up. And I always like to just shake the legs out when I come out of a position like that on the calf raises, on that variation in particular. Okay, we're going to finish out with our heel pumps. Think your toes are glued, stuck to the floor, and I want you to jog on the spot. So all I can do is lift the heel up, one at a time. So as one heel lifts, the other lowers. See how the knees just nice and soft, they go forward a little bit. My toes are stuck, they don't move. I just lift the heel up one at a time. Just lifting those heels up one at a time. Nice little after our heel raise there, might feel a little bit of tiredness back of those lower legs, but otherwise just keeping this nice active movement here. Continuous, one heel up, one heel down. Okay, it's going to finish out shortly. Go about 10 seconds. And we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just shake it out. Okay, it's just coming out of that position. What I'll do is guide us now into our cool down. So a couple of seconds. If you need a drink of water, go ahead and take that. It's going to take a couple of movements, just a couple of minutes, just to let the body return to rest, and a couple of stretches. So just take it into a march, nice and light. Take a sip of water. Just doing a little recap, as I like to do. So we had our mix of strength and cardiovascular work there. So we had the likes of our squat variation, particularly focusing on one leg at a time. We had our rowing motion, so that's about our back. You feel the arms a little bit with that one as well. We worked our core. We did that version, and also quite a cardiovascular movement. We also had that side movement, again, working the lungs, that kind of cardiovascular action again. We worked the back and lower legs, the calf, with those in particular, with those last two movements. So a lot covered, and hopefully feeling good after the workout. Trying to always, as I say, just add in little bits of extra challenge where I can. Don't be afraid to strip back one or two of those movements. We all have different areas of strength and weakness. But overall, hopefully a good challenging workout. So just take it nice and light, tap the heels. Just directly in front. Guide your heel towards floor. Okay, just take it back in, nice light march. And very simple, just going to take the arms into play. Just open the arms out to the side and back down. Nice and light. And then directly in front. Just keeping the arms nice and light. Open in front, slowly lower down. Okay. Just take it into the chair next. We'll stretch out the front of the leg. We did work quite hard today. What I want you to do is just curl the right foot back. If comfortable, grab that foot. Just draw the leg back a little bit. Get a nice stretch front of that leg. I'll always say, if this feels uncomfortable to grab the foot, I just want you to mimic the position without the foothold. Just follow it as closely as you can. Back down, left foot back, grab foot. If not comfortable grabbing it, not to worry. Pull the leg back a little bit, stretching out front leg, the thigh or the front leg here. And back down. Again, right leg back. Take hold of that foot if comfortable, and just gently draw that leg back. A nice stretch through the front of the leg. And set the foot down. Again, I'll draw that left foot back. I'll take hold of my foot and I'll just gently draw that leg back, getting a nice stretch through the front of the leg. Okay, just take it in, shake the legs out. I also just want to stretch the calf because we did work it quite hard today. Might feel a little bit, with the calf, you can often feel a little bit of soreness a day or two later. So you might not even immediately notice. You might feel in a day or two back of those lower legs a little bit sore. Just muscular tiredness or soreness after it a day or two later sometimes. And just you can kind of lightly stretch it out if that's the case. So I'll show you a stretch. Bring your right leg back, so foot into the floor. My back leg is straight. Push the body forward a little bit. Keep your heel down. Push the body forward. So I'm stretching back of that lower leg. Back in. Now bring that left foot back. So keep your heel flat to the floor. The leg straight. Just gently pulse the body forward. Naturally, that heel might want to lift, but I want you to keep it flat to the floor. Hold for a couple of seconds. Back in. Same again. Right foot back, heel down, leg straight. Just tilt the body forward a little bit. Just hold that stretch for a couple of seconds. Back in. Left foot back, heel down, leg is straight. Just push forward a little bit, hold that stretch. Just show you that once more per leg. Right foot back, heel down, leg straight. Just pulsing forward a little bit, couple of seconds. back in, and then finally left foot back, heel down. Pulse that body forward, nice straight back leg. Hold for a couple of seconds. And back in. Okay, shake the legs out. Just check in there. Perfect. Thanks so much, Maria. I really appreciate that, just to let me gauge. So, yeah, like overall, we like slightly on the harder side than being a little bit too easy. So even if you find one or two of the movements, kind of that little bit of, as I say, not breathless to a point where you're unable to talk, for example, but a little bit of out of breath, a little bit of a pant, you know, a sign that yes, you're challenging your body, you're giving yourself a challenge. You can say after the session, yes, I worked hard and I exercised. So that's brilliant. Really pleased that you're getting a good challenge. So that's great. Really happy with that. We'll just finish out, arms by our sides, rotate. But equally, when we do work hard, just taking our couple of minutes like this to cool down, just to let the body return to a nice relaxed position. Okay. Just take the hands up, press forward, pull back, show from different angles, press forward, pull back. Once more, and pull back. And down, just really relax, just going to roll those shoulders back. Just kind of separating the shoulders so there's no help from any other part of the body. Just really good control. And then roll shoulders forward. Now, I'll just finish out breathing really nice and light. Just open the arms, inhale. Slow exhale. Same again. Three more. Two more. And once more. And down. So that's our workout for today. Back again next Wednesday, 10 o'clock. Have a great week and talk to you again next week. Great work, everyone, and hopefully feeling good after the workout.